Well, hello there, Tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and I think it's about time I do a review on the Jag Panzer E100. This is a fantastic looking tank destroyer at tier 10, especially with its brand new legendary camo, the Heavy Scoop, which should be available still, in a pop-up offer if you do play a game in the tank. The camo is very expensive. 6,500 gold for a legendary camo is very steep. However, honestly, that's the norm now for tier 10 camos, but it's a fantastic looking camo, and in today's video, I will be breaking into the tank stats as well as playing 3 live games in it to kind of showcase how this tank performs in live battle. So let's break into the tank's stats. Like I said, starting off with the gun, it deals 800 damage on its standard shells, 680 on the heat, and 1200 on the HE, so very, very juicy alpha damage. Second highest alpha damage for a tank destroyer at tier 10, and that HE is kind of crazy. It does have 6 degrees gun depression, which means you are going to be horribly inflexible on basically every map. 6 degrees of gun depression on a tank this large is not good at all. Your penetration is very good, though. You do have some of the best pen for a tier 10 tank destroyer at 323 on the standard AP shells. Yes, I will remind you guys, AP shells are goated. 429 on the heat and 92 on the HE, so very, very good heat pen. You're not going to have any problems penning your opponents. The overall accuracy, it can be somewhat troll, but honestly, for the alpha damage it has, it's actually really solid. It has an aim time of 3.8 seconds, which is pretty good. I am using V-stabs, of course, so that does bring it down a little bit, and the dispersion of 0.344 is actually really, really solid, again, for me running V-stabs. If you run Refined Gun, obviously that can go down a little bit further. And the damage per minute of 2850 is also really good for a tank with this high of alpha damage. Like a 16-second reload for a tank with 800 alpha is very, very solid, and some people are not really... They're going to get caught off guard by how fast your reload is. So that's pretty good there in terms of its gun. Now, in terms of its mobility, it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. This tank has awful mobility. It only goes 30 forward, which you might think, well, it's not too terrible. But then you look at the reverse speed. 12 reverse. Yeah, that's actually horrible. Any tank with 12 reverse speed, if you have ever experienced that before, you will know it's basically impossible to get yourself back behind cover if you put yourself in a bad situation. And because this tank is literally the size of 10 buildings, yeah, that's not a good combo. Having bad mobility and having a massive hitbox just does not help your overall gameplay. And you do have to be very careful in this tank. So, speaking of the armor profile, this tank's superstructure is actually really, really good. They did buff it a couple updates ago, and now it's basically unpennable from standard ammunition. Once you do load heat, though, you can pen it kind of reliably unless the Jag is angling. You can kind of angle this tank like an E100 in that wiggling it back and forth and basically showing the corner of your superstructure. You'll be able to get some bounces in it. However, you do also have a massive lower plate, which is basically pennable at any angle, even with AP. It's really, really easy to pen unless you just super go crazy with the over-angling. But, yeah, armor profile, it's solid. Don't expect to bounce everything, though. And you also do have a hatch on your roof that some people will go for if they can't pen your lower plate. So just keep that stuff in mind, and also keep the fact that you have 0 mobility in mind. Like I said, while I was reviewing the stats, the main downside is the fact you have literally no mobility. You have to stick with your team in this tank if you are going to want to do well in it. If you don't stick with your team, you are screwed. And honestly, because of that, this tank is somewhat difficult to play, because once your team falls apart, there is literally nothing you can do to solve that. Like, yeah, it's as simple as that. If your medium flank dies and you are in a TD bush at the back, you're going to be the next target to get focused out, and good luck running away from those mediums, because they are going to flank you quickly. Anyways, we are on, of course, Middleburg for our first game, and we get a juicer 842 roll right into that KPZ-70 there, and the Yo is peeking with his double shot. So, let's see if he pens me at all. He misses, that's good. But I'm going to keep holding this rock here. I do seem to have enough team support around me. However, for whatever reason, our AMX is already dead, so this is not looking good right now. I'm going to load the tungsten shells. Of course, I did forget to mention, this tank has tungsten shells, which is kind of ridiculous. Giving a tank that has this much alpha damage, basically the ability to do more damage, is kind of silly. It's honestly really hilarious sometimes, just dealing this much damage with a tank that has a 16-second reload. I somewhat can't get over that, but it's great. I like this tank, even though it's sometimes really hard to play. So we see the Yo in front of us. Bro is making a very weird play, kind of just YOLOing over the hill. And you can see in just a couple of shells, we've already dished out 2,500 damage. However, you can see the 12 reverse speed is not helping me at all when it comes to trying to get out of this situation. And yeah, people will track you a lot in this tank, so be careful of that. I'm going to pretend like I'm angling towards the 215B. Maybe this guy's going to get baited. I did actually get a bounce, so that's good. Let's use our nice heat pen to just butter right through that 215B's turret there. And you know what? I think my best bet for like trying to survive as long as I can is to try and face hug this 215B here. And that's simply because I want him to basically die first. If I'm going to kill anyone here, hopefully it's the 215B. Let's see here. Can I get a shell into you? Yes, I can. Hello. The Yo is probably going to clip me out. I'm kind of hoping he bounces this second shell on me, because that would mean I could survive. Maybe. Come on, KPC, bounce. Well, we didn't end up surviving. Unfortunately, you can see there, since the tank is so team dependent, like I said in the beginning of the game, our team fell apart and there was nothing I could do. I even did decent damage. 3,800 damage is nothing to be sad about. However, the rest of my team did absolutely awful. 1,600 damage from the next highest player. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. So, that's the Yag for you. Very team-dependent tank, very slow on its mobility, but very dangerous on its gun. And it's one of those tanks that's really just super scary for the enemy players to face, and that makes it a very good tank for holding lines. So if you basically lock down a line of sight, the enemy team is going to be very scared to push you, and that's going to give your team the chance to move up and play in different positions, if, of course, they are smart enough. Keyword is if. And again, that brings it all back to how team-dependent this tank is. If you get a good team, you're going to do well in this tank, and you're going to dish out a ton of damage very, very quickly. However, we'll see if that's the case this game. We are on Canal, which is a bigger map, so it favors more so the medium tanks. So that's why I'm going to go towards medium side. And, of course, their team is also going to do the same thing, since they have a Sheridan Object 84 and Skoda T50. As well as a Foch 155 and Type 71. So a lot of those tanks, honestly, their whole team could go med side. I would not be surprised if I see that type, as well as the VK90 roll off on this side of the map. So, again, we'll see what happens. Their Foch is over here, because, of course, that is a very fast tank destroyer, so that does not surprise me at all. However, what does surprise me is the fact that he has just decided he wants to YOLO into the open, and goodbye to that Foch. Thank you, 183. This guy is an absolute Giga Chad for nuking that guy earlier, and we finish him off. So there you go. One tank down. The Object 84 is running, and basically this is going to be a win. Their med side is in complete shambles. Their Skoda is stuck now in the corner, and he's not able to get out. So as of right now, our team is doing a fantastic job at taking control of medium side together as a team. This is what you want to see in a tank like this. You want to see your team working together, and you're kind of just the support player who's going to dish out crap tons of damage in big bursts like this here. So if this E4 pulls around the corner, we're going to bounce him. Wow, we love the Yag's accuracy. As you can see, sometimes troll, but yeah, oh well, it is what it is. I'm going to sit in base D because I don't want them to have two base caps forever. Yeah, I hate getting I hate losing games due to base cap in Supremacy here. I tried to snap that shell. That was kind of on me. If I aimed that in more, I would have been able to pen it, but oh well. Dude, the Object 84, who's going to be a pain in my ass. So, here we go. The VK90 is also dropping down. Object 84 is still trying to shoot at me. This is just an awkward situation altogether. Let's see if we can get a shell into this. Ooh, E4 920 roll right into the side there with Tungsten. Again, great thing having that Tungsten, just being able to dish out that little bit of extra damage there. Honestly, at this point, I really could care less about this Object 84. He can shoot me all he wants. I'm going to try and get a shell into this VK here. I'm going to aim it in all the way. There we go. 817 roll, and we're at 2,000 damage so far. Maybe we can hit 3k if I get lucky here, and if this type doesn't just YOLO into my team and die. We'll see what happens, though. You never know with these enemy players. But there's only 2 people left, so obviously this is a win. Like I said, we got control of medium side. Our team played effectively, and we kind of just dealt damage as a support tank, which is, again, how you want to play this tank. Of course he tracks us. Of course. Of course, bro. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Okay, come here, type. Time to get penned for... Oh my god, 1,000 damage in the lower plate. That was a juicer of a max roll right there. And rim. Ah, yes, 1 damage. So we did 3,001 damage this game, as far as I know. So yeah. Wow, that max roll actually gave me the 3k. I'm very surprised by that. But there you go. That's the Yag. That situation, it worked out well. We actually did 3,056 damage, and we blocked 900. So, I mean, you can see the armor's okay. We blocked some shells, but honestly, we didn't block everything. And that's to be expected with a tank like the Yag, just because it's so large. Like, you just can't get away with the things you would be able to get away with in a smaller TD. The size of it's just massive. And honestly, that's why I personally love the camo on it. The camo of just an ice cream, like, truck, it's just perfect. It matches the tank's size and boxy shape so well. Like, man, I'd buy ice cream from this tank. Like, who wouldn't? Guys, who's not going to buy ice cream from this thing? Anyways, let's get into our third and final game here on Alpenstat. This is actually a decent map for a tank destroyer like this. However, I say that, now I'm looking at my team lineup, and this might be a little bit sus, because we do have 2 light tanks, and our 183 is also going med side, and our type and our other 183, of course we have to have 2 183s on our team. Wow, how useless. And an AFK mass. Wow, okay, this is going to be an actual... This might be an awful game. I'm not going to lie. This may not go very well at all. Well, we're going to find out shortly enough. I'm going to go mid because, well, I need to have some team support here, and I really don't see how I'm going to get that from going full wide at C corner or going med side. Like, I have to sit in the middle, so then I can kind of back up and get supported by either side if I get into a bad situation. But, yeah, at this point, I'm just going to wait until their team gets spotted. I'm not going to be the one to find out where their heavy tanks are. Most likely, they're going to be going towards our Type 71 and kind of sitting in mid like this concept, but who knows? Honestly, who knows? You know what? Screw it, bro. I'm going to poke this corner. What's up, bro? What's up? What's up, E100? Want to get tungsten? 899 tungsten shell right into that guy. Ooh, the Yag actually bounces me. That is huge. Thank you, Yag, for bouncing me. Really appreciate that. Excellent stuff. You know what? I'm going to poke it again. Why not? E100 bounces me as well. Oh my god, our RNG is blessing us right now. We get a lovely shell into the Yag's lower plate. I don't even care that it didn't do too much damage because I had to load a heat shell. 769, I'll take it. And just like that, we're already reloaded again. Again, 16-second reload. It's fantastic. And, I mean, just look at this camo, guys. We're going to roll this 183 with an 821 roll. How dare you poke the ice cream camo? I don't know what I'm saying. But anyways, we got a nice roll into the 183, and I'm going to move over to where I can get a shot into this Vickers, hopefully. He is putting himself in a bad spot, especially if he keeps pushing up. And that would be my guess. I'm guessing he's going to keep pushing up. Doesn't look like the smartest of players, but you know what? Hello, Concept. What are you doing, bro? Vickers, are you going to poke that? You going to push him? HE! I mean, bro, wait, we didn't pen the HE, but we still did 712 splash damage to him. So, there you go. You can see another big thing with the Yag that I didn't mention earlier is the fact that the splash damage on the HE is kind of insane. If you cannot pen a tank like the Concept, you can always resort to splashing the thing with HE and dealing a crap ton of damage to it, even without penning it. So, there we go. We dealt a decent amount of damage this game, and for having an AFK mouse at the beginning of the game, we actually ended up winning the battle. I was very surprised with this outcome, actually. I was not expecting a win, honestly, with how split up our team was. Yeah, very surprising stuff. We did another 3,800 damage this battle. We blocked 2,100 because of that Yag and E100 bouncing us, and pretty solid results. So, yeah. Overall, final thoughts on this legendary camo, I think it's fantastic. Again, I don't think it's worth the gold. 6,500 gold for a camo like this is very expensive. However, if you do have the extra gold lying around, I mean, bro, come on. You can't go wrong with an ice cream stand camo. Like, bruh. I even put a little attachment on it to kind of give it that more winterized look. I gave it a snow gun, of course. Anyways, for any of you out there who are not yet subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do so. It's a fantastic way to support my content and stay up to date when I post videos almost daily. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.